that just kind of instantly recognize. Nothing that's, overly wonderful. It's just familiar. Like static. Like when the TV goes blank and white snow goes everywhere. All of a sudden we're just filled with the static that we are familiar with and always have been familiar with for years. It's not that uncommon. You see faces and images in our dreams, and we can't even remember them a lot of the time. You know, some of the things that come together, and the symbols and the signs and what everything means. We try to get a grasp for it, but the only real way that we're gonna take a voyage into any of those areas is if we actually, take the experience of building, drawing, of living with the designs that we have in our head. Things we love to do, things that we love to see, the animals, the birds, fish, ideas that we come up for our son, like weird aliens that come to visit and want to plant pineapple trees in our beds. You kind of have to have a child's philosophy sometimes with art to kind of step out of your comfort zone. And that's a lot of the time that what I'm doing is stepping out of my box. Aware of my box, but seeing how long I could step out of that box to bring the other creations with me. Forms followed by waves and travelers and surfboarders and star travelers and the cosmos mixed with the sunset and beautiful waves of, California ocean. These are not things that I choose. These are things that just are part of me. And it's just you just seeing the whole picture of who you are and what you're working with. You're studying your love of your art all comes into the psychology of yourself. And one day you realize you're no longer becoming these things. You're no longer a fan of these things. You just are. This is just all tattooed on you now. And for 25 years I've built this secret empire inside myself, in my head, I guess, or part of my soul. And it's like a movie reel of faces and places and utopian, spiritual beliefs and dances around, motifs. And I like the four-letter words. All four-letter words seem to come together in a certain kind of, symbolism with faces. So I thought faces with four-letter words on them would be wonderful. Things that are kind of halfway indecent, sometimes in the natural sense, provocative, sometimes in a lighter sense of just alien talking about love. And the rocker who's, just really kind of bent and shot, and burnt out, can be reborn, born again. Who's really behind the main machine? Who's back there making all these pictures in your mind? Some things we see that are familiar, bridges, dams, could also be between the legs of some man or woman. Things that are familiar can also be abstract images. Things that we see every day. Just images. People coming together. People falling apart. Happens all the time. We just kind of live in this dream, and I just kind of like to bring it all alive. The writer, we're all travelers going across this weird desert of metamorphed forms, the sun and the snow and the rain and the desolate dry all coming down on us until the great flood comes down, and we'll have to break out our little boat and hash out our travels on the waves. Things that we don't always believe in sometimes do take hold. Strangers in the night, creatures in the night, symbols in the night that we never really quite understood before make themselves apparent in dreams, make themselves apparent in artwork. My artwork, the crazies come out, the nut jobs come out, the little loonies, the angels, the demons. They all just kind of come out, my subconscious. Like, don't you remember us? You dreamt about us just last night. This whole picture was your life last night in a different world and a different time. It is possible you were meant to be born at a different time, or you might have been reincarnated from a different time. Faces, expressions. I love eyes. Eyes that are looking back at you. Eyes that follow you across the room. What is your part? The four-letter words with faces are great because, yeah, we bend things around, we shape them the way that we like, the way that we try to understand how we see society. On the four-letter faces, it's important to just have four letters mixed with a personality identifying something, because that's all of us in any given day. In a city utopianism, we see parents who protect their young from the outskirts of all the chaos that goes on in the world. It's not till we really, really look in deeper into the whole picture of things that we see what goes on in the makings of, city life. Who does what? Who protects who from what strangers? Maybe they're not from here. Maybe they're from Lake Tahoe, where all the mountains are, and Great Cold Lake is, and the, strange make-believe totem poles kind of wreak havoc everywhere. The odd hippies with the mustache like to sell you drugs on the corner. Maybe they're protecting you from outside of the city, where the strange people gather up on the hill in Berkeley or Oakland, and they're having their riots and they're having their protests and they're gathering with their weird outfits, and they all think they're right. We all think we're right. Nobody's wrong. We're all wrong. We're all right. But, it's in the roots of the city that we really find ourselves. The people who watch from above, and all the, different compartments of a city and utopian life all kind of come together with different kinds of characters. Whether you start up in the city hills where the guitars are hanging out, or you hang out below where all the African roots are hanging with its colors and traditions. It's mixed with not just one kind of descent. It's not just European. It's definitely a lot of African. And a lot of things in the world started out with African descent, later turned into strange European descent. And somehow St. Francis found San Francisco in California. And Spain was involved. The roots of people, sometime I like to believe, started with Africa. I love African art. I love bringing in colors and mass and expression from African tribal designs. I love big black designs, Native American, African. My latest love has been Polynesian. Anything that's got good black tribal designs on it are wonderful to play with. Great movement. Thank you for enjoying this small little segment of looking into the deeper realm of my art. I'm Matt Wieland. Thank you very much for watching.